We'll have a team of experts and senior officials from the agency. The team will be led by our Deputy Director General for Safeguards. And specific details of the meeting will be agreed in the coming period. What do we expect? Of course, our expectation, as expressed already in the board and in different settings, is to, and depending, of course, on this meeting and other interactions that we will be having with Iran, the board will be kept informed appropriately. As far as I'm concerned, personally concerned, probably this will not be of interest for you when I will decide on my next steps, but if it's still of interest, you'll be able to find out. In the coming period, I'm planning to separate early next year from the agency. And of course, I will define the future steps that will be taken professionally as well.
If I may follow up on that, part of the reason I ask is because the US mission to the agency said that it looks forward to continuing to work with you for many years to come. And so I was wondering if that was a hint at some concrete plans that you've told them about.
I would disappoint you, but I would not decipher this myself. So as far as I'm concerned, I think at the right time, I repeat, if you are still interested in that matter, you will know exactly what I'm going to do. But I doubt this will be an interest for you. So. Thank you. Any other
questions? Can I ask you, which authority can one day decide that it's time maybe to bring back the nuclear dossier to the United Nations Security Council? Is it the IAEA? Is it the member state? Is it the...
Such an authority resides with the Board of Governors and is linked to the implementation of safeguards arrangements in our member states. So the Board of Governors has the authority to judge how a safeguards agreement is implemented by a member state.
Hi, Setsuko Inaki with Nippon Television. Thank you very much for your work till now. We like very much having you here. And I just wanted to ask you that you mentioned that you called for the emergency meeting or the special meeting on the 7th of November because you felt that you needed some further guidance, support from the Board of Governors on the issues which is not directly related to JCPOA, but rather touching on the AP or rather general arrangement between Iran and IAEA. Now, my question is that, can you elaborate a little bit on this? What kind of support exactly do you expect for the board to become? And then also, do you have any sort of idea of what you want from them? And do you think you will get it by this meeting today?
Thank you. First of all, it's good indeed to differentiate between the role of the agency in the implementation of the JCPOA and the particular matter that I brought to the Board of Governors, which is linked to the implementation of the safeguards agreement between Iran and the agency. And it's important to have this distinction because the particular matter that we've been looking at is linked to the completeness of Iran's declarations under the safeguards agreement. And that was already made clear in September. The issue was brought to the board as part of our efforts to make the board aware that this interaction between Iran and the agency needs, I would say, a boost, an encouragement from the board in order to clarify those matters. The expectation of the agency is to be able to clarify this matter according to our safeguards standards practices. And verification, nuclear verification, and safeguards implementation is not an artificial and arbitrary process. It's something very rigorous. I was explaining it in different instances as well. And that continues to be the case. With the involvement of the board is made aware that a particular matter linked to the implementation of the safeguards agreement is not addressed in the proper way. And I think the message from the Board of Governors was quite clear, encouraging Iran to cooperate with the agency and to provide the necessary information to clarify, to resolve the matter.
So you don't want any resolution or any sort of concrete actions from the board on this matter? Just to follow up.
Well, first of all, it's not up to the Director General to generate the action by the board. The board can decide itself. The Director General acts under the authority of the Board of Governors. So I will not speculate on what action member states could take. But what is important is when implementing safety